Hey guys, in this video I'll be going over taxi, takeoff, and landing for the MiG-21. So for taxi, first you got to turn on your taxi light if it's dark outside. So you come down to your landing gear lever and there's a little switch here and you put it to taxi. Then there is a white switch here and you need to have this switch pointed down. This switch controls the brakes, so if it's pointed to the left, then whenever you use your brake lever here, it's going to apply brakes to all the wheels. So for taxiing, you want to have it pointed down because it will only apply brakes to the back wheels, so you can use the front wheel for turning. So for turning, the MiG-21 doesn't have nose wheel steering, so what you do is you just press the rudder pedals in the direction you want to go, and then you tap on the brake lever. So for example, if I want to turn left, I press the pedals to the left, I tap on the brake lever, and you can see the plane is turning left now. Alright, so now let's go over takeoff. So first, come back to that little white switch I mentioned earlier. For takeoff, you want to point it to the left so your brakes will apply to all the wheels. Then you want to set your flaps for takeoff, so you come to your flap switch and click the middle button for takeoff. Then you need to set your takeoff trim. It should already be set by default. There's a little light here that says trim neutral. If it says that, you're good to go. Just in case the trim's not set, what you do is you use the trimmer switch on your stick, which is this one right here. And you trim the stick either forward or backward depending on which way you need to go, and you do that until the light comes on. So you can see I got my light, and that means I'm good for takeoff. Then you need to unlock the landing gear lever. There's a little black switch on it here. You flip it up. Alright, so the way takeoff is going to work is you're going to hold the brake lever and you're going to run your throttle up to afterburner. So there's going to be a little light here that says afterburner that comes on, and when you see that light, you want to let go your brake lever and the plane is going to start going down the runway. And you want to use your rudder pedals to keep you centered on the runway. You might have to use the brakes a little bit. And once you get to 250 kilometers per hour, what you do is you pull the stick back and the nose is going to lift off the runway. And then depending on how heavy the plane is, you're going to get to around 300 or 350 kilometers per hour, and then the whole plane will take off. So let me actually do it now. So I'm going to hold the brake lever. I'm going to bring my throttle all the way up to burner. So just to show you, this is what the afterburner light looks like. So when you see that come on, you let go your brakes. I'm going to use my pedals to keep me centered. And I'm going to get to 250. I'm going to pull the stick back. And you can see I'm off the runway. So once you get off the runway, you want to raise your gear and your flaps. For your gear, you just remember, make sure it's unlocked first. If not, you just flip this black switch up. So for gear, you right click on the lever and you're going to wait for these 3 red lights. So once those lights come on, you want to put your gear lever back to the middle. The reason why is because whenever you put the gear lever up, it uses compressed air to hold the brakes, and if you leave it up, it's going to drain all the air out, and then you're not going to have any more to use for your brakes. So once the gear's up, you want to put the lever back to the middle. Then you want to bring your flaps all the way up, and then you bring your throttle back to turn the burner off. Alright, so now I'm going to go over takeoff with rockets. So the MiG-21 has some optional rockets you can use if the plane is really heavy or if you need to take off really fast. So you can load them on your plane by clicking backslash and click ground crew and rearm. And you want to go to pylon 6 and right click and go to hover over pods and do takeoff rocket.
Request rearming.
And this is what they look like. So to take off using these rockets, first you got to power them on. So you come to your right and there's 2 switches here, JATO start system and JATO jettison system. So you flip on both of those switches. And then besides that, you just take off like normal. Whenever you move your throttle all the way forward, the rockets will automatically come on after a couple seconds, and you're going to notice that the plane is going to start to go super fast, and you're going to want to just take off like normal. So let me demonstrate that now. So they're about to come on in a second here. There they go. And I'm going to take off. And that's it. So once you've taken off, if you want to get rid of the rockets, what you do is you open this little red cover here and you click this black button And you can see they're gone now. Alright, so now I'm going to go over landing. First of all, once again, make sure the white switch is pointing to the left so you can make sure the brake applies to all the wheels. Then, if it's dark outside, you want to turn on the landing light. So you come over to the landing gear lever, and next to it there's a switch, and you put it up to landing. Then, if the gear lever is locked, you need to unlock it, so you click the black switch to flip the lock up. Then, if you have an autopilot stabilizer on, you need to turn it off. So this black panel here is the autopilot panel. So if the stabilizer's on, you're going to see there's going to be a green light. So you do not want to land with the stabilizer on. So to turn it off, you just click the red button on your stick, and it turns it off. Alright, so what you got to do is you need to get your plane down to 500 kilometers per hour. That is the speed where you can lower your gear and flaps. So it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little switch here inside the throttle, and that's the air brake switch. So you can use the air brakes to help you slow down. This is what the air brakes look like. Once you get to 500 knots, you want to lower your gear and your flaps. So you can press the gear lever down, and you want to wait for the 3 green lights. And then once you get those, you want to bring the gear lever back to the middle. And then you can bring your flaps down to the takeoff position. Then what you want to do is you want to slow down to 400 kilometers per hour. Once you get to 400, that's the speed where you can lower your flaps to the landing position. Then what you want to do is just kind of fly the plane by feel and bring it gently onto the runway. Your landing speed and your touchdown speed is just going to depend on how heavy the plane is. Make sure you be really careful because it's really easy to stall this plane, so you might have to land it a little bit faster than you think. But the landing speed might be around, when you're coming in, maybe like around 350, 360 kilometers per hour. It just depends on how heavy the plane is. For your touchdown speed, the manual says the absolute slowest touchdown speed should be 340 kilometers per hour, so don't get below 340. So for me, my plane is loaded really lightly right now, so I'm going to touch down at 340. Right before you touch down, you want to point the nose up a little bit because you want to touch down on your back wheels. So I'm going to point the nose up a little bit now so I can touch with the back wheels. And if you want, you can keep the nose pointed up a bit so you can help you slow your plane down. The MiG-21 has an optional landing parachute you can use to help you slow down. If you want to turn the parachute on, you click this black button here. So if I click the button, you can see that's what the parachute looks like. Once you've slowed down, if you want to get rid of the parachute, you flip up this black cover and you click this button here, and it will drop it. You can also use your brake lever to help you slow down. Last thing I want to mention is that the MiG-21 is the hardest jet to fly in DCS. So whenever you're practicing taking off and landing, if you don't get it the first couple times, just keep practicing because it is a really hard plane to fly and eventually you'll get it. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you later.